Yo, what's going on guys, it is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video, and this is episode 7 of Zero to Hero, closely followed by episode 8, so we've got a double header for you guys today, a double episode around 20 minutes long, and I cannot wait to show you guys what happens in these next two races. But first of all, why is there 2 in 1 episode? So basically, I put a poll out on Twitter for you guys to go respond, and I got 87 votes, and the majority of you said do the 2 in 1 episode special. So I may be doing a couple more of these in the future because I'm running it a bit close for time for when F1 2016 comes out. So if you guys want to get involved, then do follow me on Twitter at Tom97HD. There's a link in the description down below, and I definitely recommend you go follow me on there, especially because I'm close to 2,000 followers, and that would be absolutely fantastic to hit. But as you can see, we are running the full setup, and spoiler alert, last time out in Monaco we came home in 2nd place, so obviously that meant that we had 2 spins of the wheel, and the first one, which was the first upgrade, we got a bloody setup reset. So we've got the full setup for this race alongside with the ballast, which is the 2nd upgrade that we unlocked, but it's a pretty pointless upgrade compared to the actual setup reset, which was a really big hammer blow. But we're here in Canada. We're starting on super soft tyres and from the back of the grid as per usual, but I feel like we can do some damage here. I've got some problems with my brake, and I'm struggling for some straight line speed, like actual top end speed, but we're not going to let that get us down as we get the 5 lights and we are underway for the Canadian Grand Prix. Getting a pretty okay start actually, not too squirmy on the exit, keeping it a fairly straight line as we now make our way into the first couple of corners here, making a move up the inside of both of the Manors as we now make our way into turn 2. And can we possibly pick off Jensen Button here? It's not looking like it, and we don't pick him off there. Button gets some pretty good traction out of the corner. But I quickly want to say, guys, what I was saying about my brake pedal. Basically, my pedals are almost 3 years old now, and essentially, if you have the accelerator and the brake graph, the brake meter and the accelerate meter, essentially my brake one is basically sticking. So what this means is on the red bar, which is where the brake is, only 5% of it remains red. So basically, even though I'm not braking, the pedals are braking for me 5%. So essentially, I'm a little bit down on straight line speed because I'm accelerating and braking technically at the same time. But hopefully it doesn't affect us too badly because it's fairly inconsistent when it arrives. And so far, Superlight's not really causing much of a problem, as on lap 3 now we're making a move up the inside of Sergio Perez here at the hairpin, and a fantastic overtake on him. But now Perez actually is going to re-overtake us here. Look at the straight line speed of that Force India there, because I can't match that because of the fault setup and my dodgy brake. I could not match Sergio Perez's straight line speed. However, we do open up the DRS on the back straight here and make a fantastic move up the inside way before the Wall of Champions chicane. And I've got to say also around this track, guys, with the strict corner cutting setting, it is so hard to not cut or extend around here, and I have to be very, very careful. So my pace overall was very cautious and very slow because it's very easy to pick up a penalty around here as we go around the outside of Nico Hulkenberg. And like I was saying, it's just so tricky to not get a penalty because the chicanes have got so much runoff area, and also it's AstroTurf and just basically places where you can possibly extend. So you've got to be very careful around here to not get any sort of penalty. But here we go at the end of lap 5. We make a diving move up the inside of Marcus Ericsson at the hairpin there. Fantastic overtake on Marcus, if I do say so myself there. Some great late braking action from me because that's what I'm going to have to be good, because my straight line speed isn't great. So I'm going to have to be really brave on the brakes around here. As now on the start of lap 6, we're going to dive one up the inside of Kevin Magnussen into turn 1 there. Once again, another late braking maneuver into the first corner. We're now up in the P12 on the back of Max Verstappen here. So a really good start of the race so far, and we're now on the back of Max, like I said before, on the end of lap 6. And can we possibly, similar to Marcus Ericsson, line him up for a move here into the hairpin? We're going to go to the inside, brake really late, and can we also get Carlos Sainz here as well? We're going to try and have a look, but Sainz gets the better traction around the outside on the racing line, and we're going to have to settle for this position for the time being, and just hopefully with the help of DRS we can stick with Sainz. And that's exactly what happens. As you can see now on the pit straight, we've got DRS open, as does Sainz, and we're just going to outbrake him basically into the first corner and make the move up the inside there on the Spanish driver. And we're up in the P10 now into the points for the first time this race there. So great stuff so far as we move later on in the race on to the end of lap 7 here. As you see, we are right on the back of Daniel Ricciardo and Danny Kvyat, who have both got DRS on both cars in front. So there's not going to be much action here in terms of a straight line, but we're going to try and make a late braking move once again into the first corner here. Double overtake, having a little bit of contact there with Kvyat. I think I felt like I made a little bit of contact there, but Kvyat just about gave me the room on the inside, and I managed to stick my nose up there and make the move stick for PA. And we're now on the back of Julian Palmer and Felipe Nasr, who are going side by side through turns 3 and 4, and we're going to try and set up a lovely little switchback here on Palmer and just breeze around the outside of turn 5 and make the move on him there. So fantastic overtake on the British driver, and we move later on to midway through lap 8, as you can see, literally a couple of corners later after overtaking Palmer, and we're now on the back of Felipe Nasr here, going to the outside actually. And could we make this move stick around the outside of the hairpin here, running a little bit deep on purpose to try and pick up some better traction on the exit because my straight line speed is quite poor, and we do indeed make the move there. So a fantastic overtake on Felipe Nasr, and later on the end of lap 12 here, coming in for our first stop of the race, and we are currently in P5. So I can tell you Hamilton was actually the early stopper because I was in P6, and Hamilton stopping early promoted me to P5. So Lewis Hamilton, I believe, with the early stop, and as you can see, I've got a slow pit stop here because I believe Vettel's just pit, so we've had a 3.9, a very slow pit stop from the Ferrari crew. And if you guys remember last time, I think it was Catalonia actually, 2 races ago, we had an absolute mare for strategy, and it's looking like lightning struck twice here, as for the second time in 3 races I've been held up in the pit lane. So a very unfortunate turn of events there, and as you can see, we cut all the way on to lap 22, and literally nothing happened in that middle stint. We did an entire stint on the prime tyres and nothing happened. So what I've done is I've actually pit a couple laps earlier than what I should have done in order to try and provide some action and try and maybe undercut some of those cars ahead of me, because what I was saying before about my sticky brake pedal, basically I didn't have enough pace to catch the top 6. So both my teammate, both Brett Williams and both Mercedes were faster than me, so I could not catch them on track. So I need to do something different for strategy. As you can see, on the exit of the pit lane, we get squeezed by Danny Kvyat there on the exit, but we are going to try and make the move around the outside of the Russian driver. Fantastic overtake on the fresh tyres, plenty of grip on those, and we do make the move there, and Kvyat gives us the room, but that was a very tight squeeze on the exit of the pit lane. And literally a couple of corners later, we're on the back of Felipe Nasr also, and we're going to try and pick him off for a move up the inside this time of the hairpin, unlike last time which was on the outside. Running a little bit deep there to force Nasr a little bit wide, and then cut him off on the exit to make sure he doesn't make the move, and that is us up into P8, which then became P7 because obviously I think Lewis Hamilton came in for his second stop of the race, so he's on a bit of a different strategy at the moment. But as you see on the start of lap 26, we're up into P6 now, and we've got Felipe Massa ahead of us here, and literally once again nothing happened in the final stint. I'm right on the back of Massa. It took me the entire stint to catch up to Felipe Massa here, but unfortunately I couldn't pass him, and that was the race. And this was one of the reasons why I wanted to combine both of the episodes, because the first stint was so action packed, but the rest of the race was just, there was nothing. There was literally nothing, and I didn't feel like it was worth uploading as an individual video because the race was just so boring. So this is why I want to do a 2-1 episode for you guys to really make it up to you and hopefully make this episode worth watching. So as you can see, looking at the final race results, Vettel actually won the race with Rosberg and Bottas on the podium, with Hamilton in 4th and then Massa in 5th. Myself in all the way down in P6, which means 2 downgrades. We'll see that in a moment. But Ricciardo and Verstappen in 7th and 8th, Magnussen in 9th, and Nico Hulkenberg rounding off the point scoring positions. But we're going to move into the permutations now. And as you can see, finishing in P6 means we get 2 spins of the wheel into the negative, but there's no point in me spinning the wheel because the only upgrade I had was the ballast. So essentially for the next race in Austria, we're just going to have to remove the ballast from the setup and basically go completely default with the setup for the Austrian Grand Prix. So we're going to jump into that race now, and I'm not going to show you the standings because we can show you these at the end of this race. So here we are, we're at Austria, the Red Bull Ring, and hopefully here we can have a bit more luck because Canada overall was just a woeful race. For some reason I had no pace with the default setup, and also the sticky brake was really holding me down for overall pace. So hopefully here at Austria we can have a bit of a better race, and we're going to be hopefully pushing very hard here. So we're not going to spend too much time babbling on the grid here, so we're going to jump into the race, and like I said, fingers crossed we can try and get some sort of upgrade or make this episode a bit better for us, because that last race was absolutely horrible. So here we go then, we're going to gear up to the 5 red lights for the Austrian Grand Prix, and we're going to get underway here at the Red Bull Ring, getting a pretty decent start actually off the line there, finding some okay traction, and we're going to try and make our way now into the first corner here and try and wait for a move. We're going to dive on up the side of Verline, and can we possibly get Alonso as well? Yes we do, and also I think 3 or 4 cars there, and someone like Ricciardo down in P16 there, terrible qualifying from him. Haryanto getting himself up in the P13 there, so a fantastic start from him, but we've got ourselves up in the P13 already now, and we're going to try and make it P12 as we dive one up the inside of Kevin Magnussen at turn 2 here. So a fantastic overtake on him, and a very great start so far. 8 positions in the first, not even the first lap, just the first couple of corners. So a fantastic start from us as we move on to lap 3 now, and we're on the back of Carlos Sainz here for P11 possibly. We could make a move here as we could pick up some mega slipstream here, and this is what I was saying before, my brake is sticking, and look at this, I'm falling behind in a straight line. For some reason I just can't match the AI in a straight line. With my brake pedal sticking, it's causing me loads of problems, so I really need to hopefully unlock an upgrade to at least match for straight line speed, the AI cars. And meanwhile, we get a shocking exit out of turn 2, which allows Science to get back past us with some DRS here. As you can see, I've got DRS as well, but Science has got so much more straight line speed. However, we're going to literally late brake once again into turn 3 and make the move on the Spanish driver, and that is us back up into where he was. And Science does have another look up the inside here, but I'm just going to hang it around the outside because this is where the full setup really comes into play through these corners. So that is the move done on Science, and we're up in the P11. So we're now on the back of Max Verstappen on the end of lap 4 here. And can we possibly size him up for a move? We get a fantastic run through turn 8. We're just going to slide one up the side of turn 9 there on the Dutchman, and that is us up into P10 and into the points. And moving later on that very next lap, we're on the back of Felipe Nasr, and we're actually going to try and pick up a move as we get some fantastic traction on the exit of turn 6, I believe, through turn 7 now, making our way into turn 8. We're going to try and dive one up the side of Nasr here and make some late braking move there. Fantastic stuff on the brakes, and we're now on the back of Julian Palmer, who we should also overtake here quite easily on the pit straight with help of a little bit of DRS here. As you can see, with the rear flap wide open, this is going to help us in terms of our sticky brake and default setup here. So we're just going to dive right up the inside of Jolyon there, and Jolyon actually runs out really wide to give me the room, but that is us up into P8, I believe, and that is the move done and dusted on the British driver. And moving later on onto the start of lap number 7 here, as you can see, Lewis Hamilton is in the pit lane for his first stop of the race, similar to last time out in Canada where he came in for an early stop. And the very next lap, his teammate Nico Rosberg also in there for the early stop. And we're going to go a little bit longer here, and as you can see, on the end of lap 8 onto lap 9, a couple laps later than Mercedes, we come in for our first stop of the race here at the Red Bull Ring, and hopefully we don't get held out too much by the Ferrari mechanics here. I'm not sure if Vettel has pit this up or not, but I needed to pit because my tyres were pretty much gone, and as you can see, the Ferrari mechanics are waiting for me, so it's looking like I'm not going to get held up, and it's going to be a fairly quick pit stop here, and we're going to come out right in front of that little train of cars there, crucially. So we're going to rejoin quite comfortably onto the track with no traffic whatsoever ahead of us, so that is fantastic for us. And as you can see, there's no one coming on the pit straight, so it looks like we've got some nice clear air for us to try and attack and try and make some sort of move and try and really push hard in this race and try and make something happen. So here we go, coming later on to lap 14 actually, and we've got I believe Lewis Hamilton named for the second time this race. So Mercedes really going aggressive on the strategy and really making some early pit stops here. And one lap later, once again, like I said last time, Rosberg also following his Mercedes teammates. So Mercedes going for a very different strategy here, and I'm sort of responding to what they're doing. So the very next lap on lap 15, as you can see, I'm coming in for my second stop of the race here. So just basically following what Mercedes do. I'm still keeping my strategy in check, but I'm just sort of following Mercedes at the moment. So as you can see, we come into the pit stop for our second stop of the race, but similar to last time, nothing happened in that middle stint. Similar to Canada, just no cars for me to overtake. I just didn't really have great pace at all, so I was sort of just hoping that something would happen. And as you can see, look at that, all those cars in the pit straight, I'm going to come out behind all of those guys, so that's going to be horrible for us once we rejoin, because we have to get past quite a few of those, but hopefully we don't lose too much time. And as you can see, we rejoin there, and we're currently in P9 as we overtake a couple of cars in the pit lane on lap 18 now. We've got a couple of cars going side by side here, Nasr and Verstappen, and Marcus Ericsson as well there, who we tried to jump because he was ahead of us on track, and he's actually picked quite a fair few laps later than me, and we're going to try and overtake him here on this straight into turn number 2. Ericsson is still there on my inside, but we're going to try and make one stick around the outside of turn 2 here. Can we make it stick? A little bit of contact there, but we do make it around the outside on the racing line and make the move there on Marcus Ericsson. And he was actually ahead of me, like I said before, on track. Actually undercut him. That's why I picked a little bit earlier than I wanted, and I actually responded to the Mercedes because I didn't want to lose ground to the Mercedes, and at the same time I could actually undercut Ericsson. So that's really worked to an absolute perfection there. As you can see, we're on the back of Felipe Nasr here on lap 18. And Nasr actually pulls into the pit lane here, so I'm going to have to go around the outside and breeze past him, but that could have ended very badly if I got that calculation all wrong. But luckily enough, I timed it to absolute perfection. And moving on to lap 22 now, we're going to actually get up into P4 as both of the Mercedes have pitted for the second time this race. And now on lap 24, as you can see, the rain has made an appearance, and I've basically dragged out these tyres for a fair few laps now, and my tyres are very second hand. And as you can see, Marcus Ericsson is re-overtaking me for P3 here, so the Sauber really working well around the Red Bull Ring. And also Lewis Hamilton is on my outside now, and he's literally just pit a couple of laps ago, so he's on fresh super softs, and just both of them really have much fresher tyres than me. My tyres are almost 10 laps old, so I'm really struggling on the super softs now. To say these go about 7 laps, and I've done about almost 10 laps on these now, and as you can see, I'm just literally struggling for all sorts of grip here, and Ericsson and Hamilton are already pulling away. And meanwhile, Nico Rosberg is all over the back of me, and I need to pit this lap. I'm coming in for my pit stop here. Rosberg is on my inside, and I'm just going to have to basically brake and just literally switch back on Rosberg in the pit lane there. So fantastic action so far, and really just a great change compared to Canada where nothing happened. And I'm actually coming in, and this was my scheduled pit stop lap for another set of dry tyres, but I'm I'm going to roll the dice here and go into a set of intermediates. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bite the bullet and hope that even if the track is a little bit too dry for intermediates right now, hopefully, if I just keep circulating around the track, it should come to me eventually. And also, another 3.8 pit stop, or 3.9, sorry, Sebastian Vettel once again pitting ahead of me. So, not really been my day in terms of pit stops, just really struggling overall. But as you see, a massive lockup on the pit lane exit there, and almost just a bit my front wing. Had to go check, make sure that I had my front wing in one piece. But the track is a little bit dry at the moment, but hopefully it will come my way. And fingers crossed, when that happens, we can really start to mount a challenge and push hard here. And skipping later on, a couple laps later, there is Marcus Ericsson exiting the pit lane. So if we come out ahead of him, this strategy course been an absolute perfect call, and indeed we do, as we come out ahead of him. And Ericsson there actually slows down quite a lot there, going very slowly, so maybe something wrong with the Sauber car. But as you can see on this lap now, Hulkenberg and Nasser are ahead of us, and they're going very slowly here, and that's because the track is actually getting a bit wet and everybody stayed out on dry tyres. So and now I'm really starting to show the benefit of these tyres, and they're really starting to come my way, and I've got all the grip that I need at the moment on track. And as you can see, we're on the back of Hulkenberg and Nasser, and we just pick up some incredible traction on the exit here. As you can see, Hulkenberg actually really pulls away in a straight line because of my sticky brake, but we do make the move up the side of Hulkenberg, and also Felipe Nasser as well, a double overtake through turn 5, I believe. So a very easy move there on those two, and the grip on these intermediates is just absolutely incredible at the moment, and hopefully this will help us gain to the cars ahead of us here. And on the end of lap 28, we're currently in P4, and we've got a car on the right hand side there, and I believe that is Sebastian Vettel. So we're actually back up into P3 now, and an upgrade position, so that'd be absolutely fantastic if we can hold on to this now for the remaining laps of the Grand Prix. And at the start of lap 29, as you can see, Vettel was actually kept up with us, and look at this, I'm going to show you now. DRS has been disabled, I believe, but because of my sticky brake, Vettel just breezes past me in a straight line. He walks past me without even having DRS, and look at this, I'm right on the back of him, and look how he pulls away. My sticky brake really affected me around this track, a track where you need some incredible straight line speed, and eventually we did come in for some wet tyres, but literally nothing happened for the rest of the race, and there's no point in me showing you. And as you can see, we're going to come through the final corner for P4 around a power track, which is not too bad considering I had a sticky brake, and that means no upgrades, but crucially no downgrades either. So you know, we're just going to stay out as we are for the next race in Silverstone. But overall, two races which were a bit 50-50. You know, the sticky brake just overall really did ruin what was a good race, you know, potentially a really good race, a couple of good races. So I do apologise for that, but it's literally nothing I can do. My pedals are getting a little bit old now, so I might have to look into that, try and get that fixed before F1 2016 comes out. But looking at the final race results, and it's Mercedes 1-2, followed by Ferrari 3-4, with Sergio Perez in P5 there, Massa in 6th, Verstappen in 7th, Nico Hulkenberg in 8th, Daniel Ricciardo in 9th, and then Felipe Nasser picking up a point there for Sauber. But overall, that was the Austrian Grand Prix. Hopefully you guys can understand why I did the double episode, because like I said, because of circumstances, one because Canada was a very boring race, and both of these races were affected by my sticky brake, I just couldn't really do much, and I felt quite bad to just upload these episodes separately because the videos would have been so short and just boring, and I don't want to turn you guys off of the series, so I want to compile the two and also make you guys understand that I had a problem. But hopefully this doesn't affect us in future races, and also there will be maybe possibly another double episode down the line at some point, so hopefully you guys look out for that. And like I said, follow me on Twitter, because I'll be basically making a vote, and if you guys want to see it then I will do it. But here we go, we're going to jump into the permutations, and like I said, just to confirm, P4 that race means that we don't get any spin off the wheel whatsoever, so we're in a pretty safe spot at the moment, and that hopefully will set us up quite nicely for the next race in Silverstone. And as you can see, that is pretty much the end of the episode, guys. Like I said, a very long 20-minute episode combining the two races. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, albeit the issues, and if you have, then please do smash the like button. Lets me know that you can be understanding of the issues I've had, and also that you've somewhat enjoyed the videos that I've provided you today. And also, if you're new around here, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, guys. But yeah, that's about it for this video, and I'll see you in my next one very soon. Goodbye.